Darren Roberts is going to be going through a program for you to make you a ton of money. It's my delight to introduce you to Darren. He's the Master Trainer of Impact Training Corporation. He travels the world helping clubs make more money. And this is one of the strategies that Impact Training has put into the marketplace over a short period of time, which is around about 12 months, that's really changed how businesses are creating referrals. Referrals is all, everyone says get referrals, but unfortunately no one likes to do the job. Darren's credentials are very high. He comes from a background of 20 years in the industry, working with boutique clubs and also large chains. He's been the sales manager of Good Life and also Next Generation and also Zest. So with no further ado, let's give him a ton of time and also give him a big round of applause for Darren Roberts. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Welcome, everybody. We've got a big after-lunch session to keep you active and keep your adrenaline going, as Steve said, to make you lots of money on a topic that is talked about a lot but is not actioned particularly well. So I've got some new things for you, got some new tools for you, which is pretty exciting for you to rebrand your referral campaigns. I want to certainly hand it back to Steve and thank you for a lovely introduction. Always nice to start with a good introduction. I first met Steve in 2002 here at Filex when he presented for my team, and have been using our impact system right through my career, helping lots of other people in my own career as well. So what I'm training you in is things that I am passionate about and believe in and have used and have worked for me and all of my staff over those too many years, almost 20 years in the industry now. And it was great to see Steve recognised at the opening address on Friday, and many of you may have been there to receive his Lifetime Achievement Award. So I want to give it back to Steve. Give him a round of applause. Thank you. So we're going to have some fun today. We're going to do some new material. As I said, you've got your workbooks there. So I am all about training to give you an outcome. So you don't want to hear me talk for an hour and a half, and I don't want to talk for an hour and a half without you getting an outcome. So if you've got your workbooks there, so please make sure you're writing as much as you can. I know what it's like coming to Filex, that you get lots and lots of great information, and then you get back to your club or your studio or your email list on Monday morning and you've got this massive to-do list, and your intention to implement is very strong, but unfortunately those to-do lists sometimes take over and you get back into the same habits. So you've invested time and money to be here, so please make sure you write lots and lots of notes. If you have any questions, please write them down and hold them to the end. You're welcome to come and see me at the end and I'll answer your questions for you. If we get time, I might throw it out to the rest of the group as well. So let's kick off. Referrals is something that, as I said, is talked about a lot, but the implementation isn't necessarily particularly strong, and it becomes something that then people don't like to speak about. There's lots of things that used to be okay to do that aren't okay to do anymore. It used to be okay to drive a car without a seatbelt, for instance. Well, that's not okay anymore. It used to be, some of you will remember, it used to be okay to sit on mum and dad's knee in the back of the car without any seatbelts on and not being restrained, and all was good. Well, guess what? That's not okay anymore. It used to be okay to have a few drinks after footy and then drive home. It's not okay anymore either. And as we know, in the fitness and leisure industry, it used to be okay to smoke, and guess what? Now it's very much not. Referrals is like that. It used to be okay to do it a certain way. And there was results that came from that, but it's time for a change. So this is, what I see this as a rebranding of your referral campaigns, whether you're in a club or a studio, whether you're a personal trainer and want to grow your business. This is your chance, line in the sand, to say, all right, I'm going to keep holding on to some good stuff that I know from my history, but this is a rebranding, an opportunity to get excited back in your club or your studio. Get your members excited, new members, so that you're going to grow your business. So, here we go. It has changed. What has happened in the industry is that our members are sick of referrals. They're sick of being asked because, unfortunately, in the past it has been done by some businesses in a not so good way, and it's given it a bad name. It's changed to make sure that there's some increased value. The old way is gone. The old way is stale. Like that old yucky, mouldy piece of cheese in the back of the fridge that you haven't cleaned out for a while. It smells and it's yucky and it's all slimy and it doesn't work anymore. Well, the old way of doing referrals is like that. It doesn't work anymore either. So what we need to do is we need to create a new way of doing it. Now, you guys are one of the first to hear this information. So you get to put it into place first. You know, some of you might have heard this morning in my presentation. Last year I did a presentation on sequencing, which is the whole 8 steps of the selling cycle, how to sequence it all together so it all flows nicely. Well, this year is all new information. I did some presentation on touring this morning and specifically on referrals for this session, so we get some depth into it. Less width and more depth so that you can really grow that business. When was the last time that your staff said, well, I can't wait to call my referrals. I can't wait to give them a call because I know they're just sitting on the other end of the line just waiting for me to call. And they'll answer, you know, within the first 2 rings, they'll answer. They don't say that anymore because the telephone is tough. The members don't get excited about the old way of getting referrals, and because the staff get some poor feedback about how that is going, then they've got some reluctance to ask the question, haven't they? They've got some reluctance to ask for referrals as it was referred to in the past. So the new way is going to help to overcome that. It is the lifeblood of our business though. You'll see shortly, I'll give you a demonstration of it, that as we all know, we are a lead poor industry. I know some people over my time in the industry that have lived off referrals. As salespeople, as personal trainers, as membership consultants, as owners and managers, they've lived off referrals. So some of you might be in that case. You know it works. You know, certainly they might be in a new club or a new studio, and yeah, they've got to do some prospecting calls. They might have to do some database calls for a little while to get those initial sales. But then when they obtain referrals, help to give away some opportunities to other people, and people like the services of the club and the studio and want other people to be involved, no more do they have to call ex-members from 3 years ago. They're always dealing with high-quality lead. And by the way, that's how I ran my business as a membership consultant and through management as well. So I want to get that back. I want to make sure that you have the opportunity of feeling that way, because over my experience managing lots of people in the fitness industry, I can tell people I'm blue in the face that it'll work and it'll change the way you do business and it'll increase your conversion rates. But until they physically get out there and do it and then see the benefits of it, then they come back and say, Darren, I wish I'd listened to you 3 months ago. Because they've got to experience it first. So as I said, this is a great opportunity to do a restart if you're not getting the results or the members or the income that you're after in your club or your studio, or for you as a personal trainer. This is a time to start, right? Line in the sand, let's start again, and let's put a whole new way, let's launch it a new way into the club or the studio. Now, last year, I was fortunate enough to buy a new car. Unfortunately, it wasn't the red Ferrari just yet, but I bought a new car. And when I bought that car, it was from a large manufacturer. And they said, oh, Darren, congratulations on your car. You get a free car wash for the first 12 months of owning your car. They had a car wash on site, and I said, just, give us a call, let us know when you're coming in, good to go, wash your car as often as you like for the first year. Fantastic. I was pretty excited about that. But they also said, oh, Darren, by the way, I've also got a gift for you to give your friends and family. I've got 10 free car washes for you to go and give to your friends and family. Now, when we make a good decision, we want to go and talk about it, don't we? So when I have my shiny new car, I want to go and show it off. So I was happy to go around to all my friends and family and go, hey, check out the new car. And by the way, you get a free car wash. And I felt good about giving it. They felt good about getting it. Perfect. When people join a health club or become a client of a personal trainer, they feel good about it. They want to go and tell people. If it's a good experience, they want to go and tell people. Now, what happened with my friends and family, as I said, I went out and showed off my shiny new car, gave all my friends and family a complimentary car wash each, valued at $25. They were pretty happy with it. 7 of those 10 people used it. 3 people decided not to. With some of those 7 people, when they went and got their car washed, the person that was running the car wash said, oh, how long have you had your car? And how's it going? You interested in maybe buying a new car? Let me show you some new cars. And some said, no thanks, I just want my free car wash. And some said, Okay, let me check it out. One of them bought a new car. They were happy to buy a new car. They needed a new car. They got great value from that referral promotion. They got a new car. Guess what happened when they bought a new car? They said to my mate, oh, congratulations, got a new car. You get free car wash for 12 months. Woohoo! They also said you also have the opportunity of going and giving your friends and family a car wash valued at $25, 10 of them. So it's in their behaviour, isn't it, to go and do that. Everyone felt good. Everyone felt good in that situation. I felt good because I get to share it with some friends and family. They felt good because they got their car washed, and one of them felt good because they bought a new car. So that's the same sort of culture that we need to create in your clubs and studios and for you as personal trainers so that that system continues. You know, this is a strategy workshop. So this is a plug and play. I want to give you a strategy so you can just plug and play when you get back to your club, studio, or for you as a personal trainer. Some little tweaks for you to fit it in and tailor it to what you guys do, but that's what today is about. So as I said, please make lots of notes. Think about how can I fit that in, and then for a bit of homework, I can give you a bit of homework at the end, is to take some action so that you start implementing. Fair with that? All good? Fantastic. Good. So what the big change is, rather than 7-day trials, 14-day free trials, that is old hat in the fitness industry, is now to use programs. We know, and if you were at my session this morning, that we need to create experience for our non-members, and we'll talk through that just in case some of you weren't at my session this morning. We'll go over some of that again. We need to create experiences for those that are not yet members of our club. So we're going to change from free 7-day trials to programs. Let me explain how we do that. Let's get your head around what is a referral. How does it enhance the success of your business? Firstly, it allows us to plan for good days. Now, when we do training in health clubs and studios and working with personal trainers, we make sure that there's an understanding of the structure. How do I go and what activity do I need to produce to create the end result? Whether it's membership numbers, income, whatever is the target for you guys, we do something called the Planning for Good Days formula. And the Planning for Good Days formula, I'll get you to write this down, is a number of sales or clients divided by what we call the close percentage. And we always round that number up. Whatever that number comes to, we always round it up. We can't do, 0.5 of a tour or help 0.5 of a person, so we always round that number up. Now, as you would well and truly know, I'm sure, the close percentage for a health club is the number of people that are being toured versus those that actually become paid members on that day, isn't it? And for a personal trainer, it might be the number of clients that do an induction or maybe a complimentary PT session versus those that become paid clients on that day. It's a close percentage. Okay, I'm sure you guys will know that. So the Planning for Good Days formula is the number of sales or clients divided by close rate, divided by show rate. We also round that figure up. The show rate, of course, is for a health club, number of people booked in to come and see you, to have a look through or to meet you or to finish a success action plan for those that are there this morning, versus those that actually turn up. For a personal trainer, it's how many complimentary PT sessions or inductions they're booked versus those that actually turn up. Pretty simple. I'm telling you stuff that you already know. So the Planning for Good Days formula is number of clients or sales divided by close rate, round that up, divided by show rate, round that up, equals the number of appointments needed. So let's use some examples. Let's say you needed 6 sales per day. Now, whether that's with a health club, whether that's with a studio, whether that's as an individual, depending on your situation, let's say 6. For those of you who know your close percentages, who wants to yell out what it is? How many people do you present to versus those that actually become clients on that day, not 5 days later, on that day? Anyone want to throw some out? 73%. 73%? Okay, thank you for sharing. So let's say your close rate is 73%. What about show rate? Number of people that are booked in versus those that actually turn up. What percentages are out there? 65? Yep, thank you. So let's play with these numbers. Got my little trusty calculator here. So if you need 6 sales per day and you've got a close rate of 73%, of course we do 6 divided by 0.73. That's 8.2. We always round that up. So that means we're going to need 9 tours for a health club, presentations, trial sessions completed for a personal trainer. So if your close rate is 73%, you want 6 sales for the day, guess what? You need 9 presentations. If you have a show rate of 65%, 9 divided by 0.65, then we're looking at 14 people booked in. Now, this isn't made up, this is real life data for a target of 6 sales per day. So you need 14 people booked in for a complimentary PT session or an induction if you're a trainer, or 6 people booked in to come and see your facility if you're a club or a studio. Let's take it one more step. How many people do I need to speak to? This is called an appointment percentage. Number of people I speak to voice versus those that actually book in a time to come and see me. What sort of percentages do you guys have for an appointment percentage? 32? 32%. So if we need 14 people booked in, divided by 0.32, we're looking at 44 contacts. 44 contacts to get 6 sales if your skill level in your club or studio, or for you as a trainer, is 32% appointment ratio, 65% show and 73% close. Now the newest KPI in the fitness industry is dials to contacts, isn't it? Because we're making more and more dials and speaking to less and less people because people aren't answering their phones. So how many leads do you think you might need to speak to 44 people? You may need, is 100 fair? Yeah, it's probably more than that, isn't it? So using a real life example of that, just with 6 sales per day, there's lots of clubs that need more than 6 sales per day, by the way, is that they need 100 leads per day, new leads per day, given their skill level to get 6 sales per day. So can you please put your hand up if your club or studio gets 100 new leads per day? No, I didn't think so. So I'm glad you're in the room. So what we need to do is we need to break that down, and yeah, you can say, all right, we average X amount of walk-ins, and we average X amount of phone inquiries and web inquiries, and the difference is we need to make that up somehow. So we're not a retail business, are we, that can just open our doors and we wait for people to walk in? No. We need to get out there and make it happen. So the referral, changing in your referrals, redoing your referrals is the new way to do that. So I'm glad you're in the room. We are a lead poor industry, as you know. So we need to avoid the avoidable. We need to avoid what is missing, potentially, in your club or studio. And that is that people hate being asked about referrals. And your staff hate asking for it because people hate being asked for it. But unfortunately, there's sometimes the managers and the owners are still saying, how many referrals did you get from that person? How many referrals did you get? How many referrals did you get? How many referrals did you get? But because things have changed, the relaunch of your referral program means that it's layered through all of those different levels. The manager makes sure that that happens, that it's relaunched, there's a new way, everyone's excited about it, maybe new communication about it, so that the staff that are delivering are excited, and the way that I'm going to show you to do it means that your clients and members are excited as well. It is the best opportunity to help someone, yes, create out the income you need, yes, to get the number of members and clients you need, but more importantly, to help people with their health and fitness, which hopefully is why we've all chosen to be in this industry. Many of you have seen this before. There's 8 steps to your sales cycle. And with the sales cycle, it is a cycle. So as you can see, it starts with prospecting. We need enough leads. In this case, we need 100 per day. Initial contact, we make great first impressions. We need to diagnose a problem before we prescribe a solution. So we do something called qualification. Then we do a tour where we create an experience to prove what we've told them in qualification. And as I said to you, did a presentation on that this morning. I'll go over that just for those that weren't there. Then we do a price presentation. Guys, the price presentation is only 2 to 3% of the sales. Not a big deal. By the end of the tour, the person should have had a great enough experience that they've decided that you're the solution to their compelling reason and they're ready to work with you. If we need to, we overcome some objections. We close the sale and start the relationship because we need to service our members, of course. And then if we do nothing from there, we've got a big square on our circle. Because now we need to go, yeah, I've helped someone. I've created a referral. I've helped someone. But now I need another person to join my club or my studio. How do I go about it? I've got to call those damn databases again. I've got to go and find some leads. Well, guess what? Once we get referrals right, it means that the cycle continues. We walk back into the office and we've got a couple of people that are happy to receive free car wash, for instance, and they utilise it. They're happy to utilise it. Yeah, they know that when I go and my friends wash their car that someone may ask, hey, what do you think about your car? How long have you had your current car? You're looking at upgrading? And someone may try and sell them a new car. That's okay. So it means that then the cycle continues and you've got some great momentum. It means that maybe you need to spend less on your marketing. It means certainly you get a greater return for your marketing. So it is a profit centre. Let me show you how that works. I want you to think about, with your club or your studio, how much is a single member worth to you? How much is a single member worth to your club or your studio? And you might say, depending on the type of business that you have, you might say $1,000. Let's say it's 1K. Over a year, with your direct debits over a year or paid in full, bit of PT, whatever the case might be, let's say it's about a K. Now, if you don't have a strong referral opportunity within your business, that's where it stands. But what if over just 12 months, that person happens to introduce 3 more people that get started in your business? Over 12 months. Not in the first 2 days, just over 12 months. Well, there's another K, another K, and another K. So suddenly that person is now valued at 4K as far as benefiting your business. What about over another 12 months? Each of those also introduced just 3 people over 12 months. Well, suddenly this person is worth 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13K to your business. What could you do with an extra 13K per member over 2 years? Well, obviously a fair bit. Now, you would have seen this process of marketing before. It's called Facebook, isn't it? One person telling maybe 3 people. Those 3 people go and tell 3 more people, and suddenly it's a worldwide phenomenon. Now, can you get the same numbers as Facebook? Who knows? But you can certainly get enough numbers to create a significant impact on your business financially. That's all it is. But people got to be excited about it. They've got to believe in it to then go after it. So that's where we're at today. It also clearly increases your yield because you're getting more than just that one member coming to your studio and your club, and it increases conversion. With no increase in skill level for the use on the telephone, for doing an exercise history qualification, for touring price, no increase in skill level there, all of your percentages, your appointment percentage, your show percentage, and your close percentage all go up when you have better quality leads, don't they? Without any increase in skill level. So even if you're not training your staff, if you're just training on referrals, all those other percentages go up because you're dealing with better leads. They're dealing with better leads. So it's a no-brainer, but I respect the fact that it's been difficult for lots of clubs and studios, and that's why we've gone, all right, let's start again. Let's do a whole new process so you can relaunch it in your clubs and your studios. So, why referrals? Well, referrals is the most effective way to increase your lead generation because people are most excited when they've just made that positive decision. When I bought my car and it was the Shine, that's when I was most excited about that decision. Now, when it's got a few scratches on it because the wife's had a few bingles and it's a bit dirty, well, guess what? I like it, but I'm not as excited as I was. I don't drive around going, hey, look at my car, because it's not new anymore. So same with when people made that positive decision to take action on losing that body fat so they feel comfortable at the beach in Bali, or go to that school reunion where they're going to be proud to walk in the door and not embarrassed anymore. That is when they're most excited to tell other people they've just had a positive experience. The other part is they're comfortable with what you guys have just done. They know someone that is comfortable with what you've just done. They know someone that has just gone through your process, has just spoken to a personal trainer or a salesperson, that has been happy with the value, been happy with the service, and has decided to get started. So if my friends have already gone through that process and they've made a positive decision, well, I'm much more likely to do that as well, aren't I? Because it's not you anymore. It's, hey, my friend's usually a good decision maker. They've made this positive decision. Great, let's rock and roll. Then, of course, it increases retention, because suddenly the new member now has a friend or family member that they may train together, or at least see each other in the club and studio on a regular basis. And we know in the industry that when people are connected and they feel part of a team and a tribe, they're more likely to stay and come regularly, aren't they? So it will increase your retention levels as well. So it's out with the old and in with the new. As I said, please see this as a relaunch. Unless you're getting all the leads you need and making all the money you like, then good to go. Otherwise, my strong suggestion is you see this as a relaunch of referrals in your club and studio, and it'll make a significant increase to the membership numbers and, of course, the income that you're generating. What I want to do, and some of you will know this already, so it's a good recap, but for those that don't, I really want to be clear on why people make decisions and why we've moved away, and the industry should move away, in my opinion, from 7-day or 14-day free memberships for the referrals. So there's two parts of the brain that are involved in decision making. The red brain there, medically, it's called the neocortex. And the red brain is all about facts, figures, data, statistics. It's all logical information, isn't it? The other part of the brain, or the green brain as we call it, is called the limbic brain. And the limbic brain is all about feelings, trust, emotions. You would have heard the saying, I'm sure, you may have heard it from me this morning, that people buy emotionally and justify it logically. There's a logical backup. There's a logical backup to decision making, but for people to make quick decisions, it's emotion based. I've been up here at Filex since Wednesday, and I spoke to my wife and kids on the phone the other day, and they happened to be in that car that I was talking about, and they had me on speaker so I could speak to everyone. And I heard from the back seats that my kids are 8 and 11. I said, Dad, Mum bought something. This is always a bit of a worry. And she bought a new camera. She'd never been interested in cameras, but for some reason she decided to be interested in cameras. And I said, that sounds interesting. Tell me all about it. And she said, we've got a holiday coming up this year. She said, we've got this holiday coming up. I thought it'd be great to, have a new camera. We can take all these photos of the kids. Those memories will last forever. And by the way, I got a $40 voucher with it. So it was an emotional reason to get started, but she tried to give me the old logical backup, didn't she? Or she sometimes does this as well. Some of you may relate. Hey, Darren, I just bought this new pair of shoes. They're going to match my dress on Saturday night. We're going to have a great time. It's going to be awesome. And by the way, I'll say $50. Emotional reason to buy and a logical backup. Sound familiar? There's a few little nods going around. So that's the same with what we do in health clubs. People buy emotionally and justify it logically. But what really happens, this is the key, and please write this down. 100% of decisions, 100% of decisions are made from a green brain. 100% of decisions are made from a green brain. 100% of decisions are made through emotions. And 0% of decisions are made by logic. Sometimes there's people that need facts and figures, and if you know DISC behavioural styles, it might be a C primary behavioural style, but they only need those facts and figures because it makes them feel comfortable about making a decision. They feel confident about moving forward. So it's still a green brain reason, isn't it? Still an emotion. So what I want to challenge you on a little bit is the old days of using 7 days and 14-day trials and how that relates to decision making. So most of the people that come into our clubs and studios maybe haven't trained for a little while. Some never trained before. Occasionally we'll get a really experienced person, but most of the people are not. Is that fair to say? Yep. So what really happens? Let's say they come into reception because they've got a referral. My friends just joined and they come into the club and say, hey, I've got a referral, I've got a 7-day or a 14-day pass. Reception says, great, welcome, you're awesome. Here's your pass, good luck, have a nice week. Well, give us a call, let us know if you've got any questions. And even if we have amazing facilities, great service, a bubbly atmosphere, we think, great, this person's going to fall in love with our club. They're going to join at the end of the 7 days or the 14 days, good to go. But what really happens is the conversion rates off that is very low, and this is the reason why, because of green brain. What really happens is that person walks into the club. They feel good about it, but then they look at all those treadmills lined up. And there's a treadmill free, everyone else looks like they know exactly what they're doing. So this person walks up to the treadmill, and there's lots of lights flashing and buttons on there. And they think, if I can get this going, okay, good. I'm going to give myself 30 seconds. If it's not working in 30 seconds, I'm out of here. Because I don't want to get flipped off the back. I don't want to look like I'm an idiot. I don't want to be embarrassed. So that person may play with it for a short period of time. Then they'll step off. They go, okay, pin loaded. I remember doing pin loaded 10 years ago. I'm sure I can do that. So they walk over to the pin loaded and they try and adjust the seat. And the seat drops and it smacks on the bottom of the plate and makes a big noise. And they think that everyone's looking at them. People probably aren't. But they think that everyone's looking at them. Then they might get that adjustment right. They get to adjust the seat. But the shoulder press isn't situated right because this trainer hasn't set them up. So it feels a bit strange, feels a bit tight. The lat pull down feels a bit weird. Some clubs and studio go, all right, we'll do 7-day free trials for our referrals, but we only send them into group fitness classes. Because you've got an instructor there, okay, someone's going to look after them. Well, firstly, not everyone is wanting group fitness classes. And secondly, even in a group of 30 or 40, in a group fitness class, I can't give a lot of one-on-one attention, can I? So what really happens is, Mary, who comes in for a free week, puts too much weight on her pump bar with her leg track. And halfway through the leg track, she can't keep going anymore. And she looks around, and everyone else is still going. So, even if you have great facilities, great service, a bubbly atmosphere, people that care, unless you can give sessions to all of your free people, because of green brain, they're probably going to walk out feeling, I didn't fit in, I felt uncomfortable, I felt nervous, maybe the gym's not for me. Probably Mary, who put too much weight on her leg track, can't sit on the toilet for 2 days or the 2 days afterwards. Green brain is 100% of decisions. So how do you think that's going to go? Is she going to be back in 3 days' time? Probably not. So what we need to do is to change that. And the use of programs where we can give some attention versus free trials is the solution. But we can't give that to everyone. We need to qualify who comes in and use it. We can't just open the doors, can we? Because what the free does, the free membership, is also annoy our members. Because they're taking up the treadmills from a paid member. They're taking up the group fitness spots from a paid member. So it has a bit of a flow-on effect as well. So we're going to change that by the use of programs. So that's what this session is all about. We know that we're tribal. We know that people like to do things that other people are doing. Yeah, as I said this morning, that's why Tough Mudder and True Grit and Michelle Bridges' 12-week challenges and group personal training and all those sorts of things are strong and have momentum because people like to feel part of a group. They like to feel part of a team. So just sending someone in by themselves is not the go. We used to, or some, not we, some businesses used to incentivise referrals, didn't they? Oh, give me 5 and I'll give you a hat. Give me 10, I'll give you a hat and a bottle and a backpack. There were some businesses that used to just give a blank piece of paper. Say, hey, while I'm doing your paperwork, get your phone out and just write down every name and number that you have. So it's no wonder that referrals has had a bad name. So, new ways to do it. What is more motivating? Is it here's a free trial? Or is it here's a 1-week program, weight loss, here's a 1-week weight loss program valued at $135. Now we change the terminology a little bit as well. We take away free and we put a value in there. A free trial, free trial, free trial, free trial. Free, we know that it's valued as something. Us in the industry, don't we? It's, whatever, 4 casual visits or 3 casual visits. We think it's valued as something, and fair enough. But to the consumer, it's free. Recently, I'm from Adelaide and I got free tickets to go to cricket, which is pretty cool. But I had something on. So I didn't use them and I gave them to someone else to use. Now, I didn't really care because they were free. If I paid my hard-earned to buy that ticket for the cricket, well, I'd make sure that I got there so that I get my value for money. So when you're talking about you get a free session, some people choose to use it, some people will choose not to. We need to make sure it's a 7-day weight loss program, nutrition program, valued at, whatever, $135, for instance. The other part of it, remember people are tribal? They like to feel that they belong. So when I say you're a guest of my club or you're a free trial, do you feel part of the team? No, you feel like an outcast. So use the word membership instead of guest. 7-day membership is better than 7-day guest. It's much easier to get someone's mindset about a short-term membership versus a long-term membership or a short-term program versus a long-term program than it is to go from a trial to a member. So just some small, and I know on your websites that you have currently, many of you, 7-day free trial, 7-day guest on there, etc. for your marketing. Now, just let me preface that. Sometimes that's okay for lead generation, just to get people to call you or to email you or to get a lead, okay. But when we're talking referrals, we need to create greater value. So my suggestion is, particularly with referrals, we change that language. Is that okay? So please make sure you write that down, because you may want to do that tonight on your websites, for instance. So we're going to start some programs. Which one looks more like me, do you reckon, underneath the suit? No, don't answer that question. I don't want to know. So we're going to use programs instead of trials. So here's some examples. Here's some examples of some trials. These are only examples. You'll come up with better than I have, but these are just to throw it your way. So let's say you come up with a 7-day weight loss program. And that may include an initial consultation to find out what their needs and their wants are, what is their compelling reason to take advantage of the weight loss program. You might do a program design where your trainers set them up on a program for them to use within the club. So they're not flying blind. You show them how to adjust those seats, you show them how to set up their treadmills, etc. It may be that you give them some food handouts to help start to educate them on their nutrition. For those that were there this morning, that you also understand that when you educate people, when you teach them something, suddenly you're perceived as an expert and more people want to follow you. So that'll also work. It might be that you give them a session, a second or third touch point throughout that 7 days, which is showing them the difference between normal workouts following your program and working out with a personal trainer. If it's a weight loss program, maybe some high-intensity interval training, so you burn more calories in the session but increase your metabolism, so you're burning calories for hours afterwards, versus just rolling through your normal workout. It might be that you give them a specific personal training session as one of those touch points. It might be a strength and toning program, similar sort of thing. It might be a lifestyle program where you have an initial consultation about their current stresses, what's happening in their life, sleep patterns, those sorts of things perhaps. Maybe give them some nutrition programs which assist with that. Might be yoga-based. You might take them into a Pilates class. You might do it with them, or at least introduce them to the instructor so someone's going to hold their hand through there. As I said, these are only ideas. You'll come up with your own. And then, of course, a personal training session to assist with getting rid of some of the stresses through the body. Maybe it'll have a massage component, or maybe it's a flexibility program. As I said, they're just ideas. You come up with your own programs. But I strongly suggest using programs instead of free trials for your referrals is going to have a significant impact on your business. I also suggest that you have a couple of touch points. Now, in those examples, there was 5 touch points within 7 days from there. That's pretty full on. You need some good levels of staffing, obviously, to do that. Some of you will be able to do that. Does that get them to feel part of the team? Does that create some value? Absolutely. Is that person likely to join at the end of that? Absolutely. And guess what, by the way, I'll also teach you how to get them to join before they do the program, ideally as well, give them that option. So what if you can only do 1 or 2 touch points? It's better than a free trial where they just go on their own, isn't it? It might be that you give them some information as part of that. You send them some email with an outline or an SMS, or you have some information that you include on the website that gives them some education on nutrition. It might be an initial consultation on nutrition and a personal training session. Don't know. That's part of your homework. So please put a circle around this slide, or an asterisk, because this is part of your homework to make sure you come up with some programs. Here's some other things that I would be great for you, is to have some teach sheets. Now we know, from a communication perspective, that there's a lot of noise in our industry, isn't there? A lot of noise in the industry, people are all saying the same things. Well, you need to break through from that. You need to stand out from the crowd, and that's by people believing you're experts and that you're a solution to their compelling reason. And you create the understanding that you're an expert by teaching people things they don't know. If you can teach someone something they don't know that is tailored to their goals, they will perceive you as an expert and they're more likely to follow you. You break away from your competition with the noise. So what I suggest you do is to create some teach sheets. In this room, we sometimes call them cheat sheets because it means you've got something to refer to rather than have to remember all these facts. But out there, we call it teach sheets. So it might be an A4 piece of paper, and you put your most common reasons why clients or members, prospects inquire with you. And in our industry, we know that that's weight loss. So you may have a title on your teach sheet, weight loss, and then you've got 2 or 3 facts about weight loss written down. So let's say you're on the telephone, well suddenly this person says, I want to lose some weight. You've got some facts there that you can teach them straight away. You don't have to remember it. You might have strength and tone. And 2 or 3 facts about strength and tone. You might have nutrition. What are the latest trends with nutrition? What are the latest facts? They've got to be up to date so that you sound like an expert. It also means when you get face-to-face, then you use that, a teach sheet or a cheat sheet, you use that when you're face-to-face with someone. So you're not just talking about it, you also back that up with written authority there as well to make sure you're perceived as an expert. So again, from a bit of a homework perspective, please get out there and do that. How we use that is something called inking, where we teach the prospect something that they don't know. And there's 3 parts to it. There's a little, what we call a statement softener. So if you want to write this down, you can. 3 parts to inking. The statement softener is a little introduction to it, like, hey, you may not know. Someone just told me, I just found out the other day. You probably know this already, but... Then we give them the fact. 80% of weight loss will come from nutrition. There's a myth out there that low-intensity hydration exercise is the best for weight loss. What we're finding is shorter bursts of exercise for a little bit higher duration will burn more calories and increase your metabolism, so you're burning calories for hours afterwards when you're back at the desk. Or I can teach you how to burn calories while you're sleeping. That's pretty exciting. And then the last little bit, the 3rd part to your inking, of course, because we know we need a red to green conversation, don't we? Because green brain is what percentage of decision making? 100% of decision making. Good. So we need the benefit to you is. The benefit to you is, and we relate that back to the situation. That'll fast track that weight loss. That'll fast track that weight loss so you're comfortable on the beach in Bali for your holidays, whatever they've told us. So your inking becomes something like, as soon as you know what they want to achieve, we teach them something. So Mary's on the phone. Mary says, I really want to lose some weight. Okay, Mary, I can certainly help you with that. In fact, we're having some great success with combining lightweight, high repetition, resistance activity with cardio. The benefit to you is not only do you burn calories while you're here, you increase your metabolism so you burn calories for hours afterwards. That's going to fast track that weight loss so you feel comfortable on the beach in Bali. That is a little bit of an inking, a red to green inking. We also utilise our unique selling points, our USPs. So what is different about you? What do you do differently as a personal trainer, a club or a studio that the people around you don't do? And you may know that, you may not. My suggestion is you work it out and make a list. Write it down, show people, show the rest of your staff. Now when they're unique, you're the first or the only, or the fastest or the shortest or the longest. It's got to be purely unique. And we put that into a structure called AEE, which some of you saw this morning. But even without that, just make sure you're teaching them something so that you're perceived as an expert, so you create followers, and then you're using your unique selling points and communicating so they don't look sideways. If you're an expert and you can help me, and I can't get it anywhere else, decision's made. Okay, so the last little bit there is a giveaway cafe. And this is going to increase your referral success because people are going to feel part of your team. So Giveaway Cafe is where on part of the tour, you have something in your club or studio, or for you as a trainer, that is a members-only benefit. Is it a discount to the cafe down the road? Is it a discount at your cafe within your club? Is it a complimentary PT session for new members? Whatever the case might be. You have that set up in your club, and on the tour of this person that's been referred, you say, hey, Georgina, as a member you get X, Y, and Z. We've got vouchers for that. Would you like your voucher now? Would you like your voucher now? And if Georgina says yes, and she knows it's members only, she's just decided to become a member, hasn't she? I haven't done a price presentation. I haven't asked her to join. I've just been assumptive, and she said yes. So then it makes sense that we would present an opportunity for her to get started as a full member rather than doing the 7-day weight loss program with me, because she's just told me that's what she wants. Pretty simple. All right. So remember the new car scenario, that I was excited to get that example, that opportunity to invite my family and friends for the car wash, and they got some purchases out of it. But this comes down to the belief. And that's why I said that I want it to be a restructure of your referral campaigns in your clubs and your studios, a restart, so that the mindset is right. Because if your staff don't believe in it, and over the years, that's what I've seen in clubs, is they believe in it less and less, then of course they're not going to take that action to create new leads and new members, are they? So the restart could be that communication sequence to all of your teams and potentially your members to go, hey, we're doing it starting from scratch, we're going to change it so it's exciting, so it's not old hat, so it's something new, and this is what we're going to do, and you create that system. Really, it's about getting out there and being able to help other people with their health and fitness. As I said, that's why I'm sure you're in the industry. I hope so. That's why I'm in the industry. Because there's a problem out there, and this is our opportunity to change more lives and enhance the value. So part of you putting your programs together is an understanding, because remember we need to say that it's valued at something, is what would your sessions be valued at? Let's say you chose to do 3 touch points, not 5, 3 touch points in your 7-day weight loss program, or your 7-day flexibility program. And each of those touch points was with a personal trainer. Let's say you charged the half-hour sessions, you charge $45 for half-hour session. Well, suddenly that's valued at $135, isn't it? That 7-day weight loss program. Now, maybe if you give them access to the club as well, it could be valued at more. Maybe you charge more than that for your sessions. But suddenly it's got some good value rather than, oh, you just have a go. See how you go. We'll talk to you at the end of your 7 days. So what I want you to do is just take a second and please write down, if you were to do a 7-day program, weight loss, nutrition, whatever the case might be, and you were to have 3 touch points at half an hour each, how much would that be valued at, given what you charge for half-hour personal training sessions? So I'll give you a couple of minutes. You can speak to the person next to you if you like, but I want that written down. What would you charge? What would it be valued at? Okay, what sort of numbers have we got? For 3 touch points for a 7-day program, what sort of numbers do they total to? Let's throw some out. 120? Any others? Yeah, okay, so around the same mark, good. So, it doesn't matter what it is, it doesn't matter how many touch points, what I want to do is to make a change. The more touch points, then obviously the greater value, the greater experience that person will have, the more that they feel part of a team. And that's where your conversion is going to go. Even if they use the 7-day program instead of cashing it in at the start, your conversion is going to be so much higher. But we also know it's better for them to become a member straight away, to do maybe a full weight loss program or the full 4-week program valued at $299. That's going to be better for them, isn't it, than a 7-day weight loss program. So we'll give them the opportunity to do that. So how do we do this when we deliver it? How do we do this at point of sale? Firstly, it needs to be part of the membership. It needs to be part of the membership. So you or your staff don't choose whether you're going to give this person, the new member, an opportunity to invite family and friends down to take advantage of, to nominate family and friends to take advantage of this 7-day weight loss program. They don't have the choice. It's part of the membership. So they do it to 100% of people. Some will say yes and some will say no. In fact, if you don't deliver, if your staff don't give that opportunity, they're ripping people off. Imagine if I joined a health club and my mate joined a health club and we're having a coffee on a Friday afternoon and my mate said to me, hey, who did you nominate for those 4 different type of programs when you got started? I said, sorry, what are you talking about? I didn't get that opportunity. He said, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. You know those 4 different programs, they're valid like $135. They're pretty cool. I go, I didn't get that. Now I feel ripped off, don't I? I feel ripped off by what, $500? 135 times 4. So it's got to be delivered to everyone. And what I want you to do, I want you to consider yourself an airline hostess. You okay with that? Or hostess? I travel a lot, so a lot of my explanations relate to planes. When the hostie, or host or hostie, you know what I'm talking about, when they offer you coffee on the aeroplane, do they decide who they're going to ask? They don't do that. Do they care if people say no? Do they get offended? Oh, this person said no to me. I'm not going to ask for coffee anymore. They don't, do they? They just go, coffee, 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 coffee. And some will say yes and some will say no. What I want you to do is to do that. Make sure 100% of the people that join your club, your studio, or you as a personal trainer, get the opportunity. Because if you don't, you're ripping them off. And at the end of the day, it's just a numbers game, isn't it? So get that concept out there when you're flying home, and that happens. You're like, oh yeah, I remember Darren saying that. I've got to do that when I get back to my club. Sure.
And you might be coming, but it's obviously very relevant for new people coming in. What if you've got members, or you obviously already have members, and they start hearing that you're doing a new referral program?
It's a good question. Yeah. So the question is, what if you start this program and the members that have joined, 2 months ago didn't get this opportunity? That's a great question. And that's why we start from scratch and you communicate to everyone that, hey, new way of doing things. So I actually worked with a club that had this massive problem with 7-day trials. They'd been around a long time. They had a strong tradition of 7-day trials. And people thought that they could just bring their mates in and just say to reception, oh, this is my mate, 7-day trial, and good to go. And for years, that was okay. So they had some trouble just trying to change that. So what they did is they communicated to everyone. And remember, when people come and use a free pass or a free week, it annoys your members because they're paying for it. And now suddenly the treadmills are getting used by people that aren't paying for it. So it's how you communicate it. So they said, hey, via email and message and phone calls, etc. Hey, we really value you guys as members. And we believe that too many people are coming into the club and utilising your equipment without paying for it. We value you because you're our members. So what we're going to do, we change things. No more are we just going to give away 7-day passes. You need to let us know that you want to invite a friend in and we need to have a chat with them first. And all the members went, oh, hallelujah. Now I know that everyone comes in is being spoken to. We're not just, giving guest passes. So it's actually really positive for the club. And then it becomes part of the culture and then that problem doesn't exist anymore. So my suggestion would be to get out there and communicate it, line in the sand. This is why we're doing it. It's a benefit to you as a member. These are the changes. And by the way, anyone that is an existing member, I'm going to give you the opportunity to nominate people to take advantage of one of our new programs. We've got 4 different types of programs, a weight loss program, a lifestyle program, a nutrition program, a strength and tone program. Give them the opportunity as well.
That was my point, is using the members you've already got to get referrals.
Yeah.
They're not just new members.
Absolutely, exactly right, and I'll show you a way to do that. So this is how we do it at point of sale. Mary's just become a new member, happy to go, good, she's wrapped. And I say, hey Mary, now that you've become a new member of the club, you're entitled to some great goodies and benefits. This is awesome. And of course we have a little referral slip or something for them to fill out. We say, hey, the paperwork I'll take care of shortly, but firstly this is for you. I'll just get you to put your name on it because this is yours. So we've got to get some excitement on it, and then we've got to create some value. As a new member of the club, you get to nominate. Please put a massive circle it 3 times, the word nominate. You get to nominate, you get to nominate, you get to nominate your closest family and friends that you want to help the most to fit 1 of 4 different programs, 7-day programs. You get to nominate your closest people, the people that you'd like to help more than anyone else in the world. You get to nominate these people to match one of our 4 7-day programs. There's a weight loss program, and a lifestyle program, a strength and tone program, and a flexibility program. They're valued at $135 each. They're only valid for the first 30 days of your membership, because we know that it's a great feeling to give back and to help some people with some things they might be struggling with. And we also know for you that you'll get in a great routine when you've got some friends and family around. Pretty simple? But it's got to be excited. We've got to have some value. The word nominate means you decide, as the staff member, you decide if they qualify. We're not just opening doors and say, everybody, all of your 4 people are going to get a 7-day program. We will nominate, they will nominate, and we'll decide if they fit or not. So it means that everyone that happens to use a 7-day program is a strong contender to be a member afterwards. So I'm going to show you how that works. So, Mary. Hey Mary, welcome to the club. All we've got to do is take care of a little bit of paperwork. I'll take care of that now. Let's get you ready for that holiday to Bali. Hey, by the way, as a new member, you get some great goodies and benefits. This is pretty cool. I'll get you to put your name on here because this is yours, little referral slip. As a new member, you get to nominate 4 of your favourite people that you'd like to help more than anyone else in the world to link with one of our 4 7-day programs. There's a weight loss program and a flexibility program, a strength and tone program, a nutrition program, whatever you come up with. These are valued at $135 each. They're only available for the first 30 days of your membership. You know, it's great to give back to other people and see if you can change some people's lives, but also I know it's going to be good for your routine when you've got friends and family to train with. Okay? And then we do something called a takeaway strategy. Remember, I said that some businesses in the past have just said, here's a blank piece of paper. While I'm doing your paperwork, get your phone out and write every name and number that you've got on there. Well, guess what? Of course, that destroys the integrity of your referral program. People want things that they can't have. So we do a takeaway strategy. Unfortunately, I can only give you 3 of these 4 at the moment because we're really busy and I want to really make sure I look after your family and friends. So it's a takeaway strategy. But I'll give you a call in the next 14 days and I'll give you the opportunity of using the 4th program then, okay? So unfortunately, I can only give you 3 of those programs at the moment, so I really want to make sure I look after your friends and family, but I'll give you a call in the next 14 days and I'll give you the opportunity of that 4th program then, okay? So it's a little takeaway strategy. It shows integrity, it shows value that you believe. You're not just screwing them for a lead, that you believe in the value of it, you believe in what you're doing. So use the takeaway strategy. Then we ask for the people. And no more do we say, hey, who can you think of? Who in all the people in the world that you have a contact with, all your Facebook friends, who can you think of? Because they see all these millions of faces. They see people from work and people from school and people from the netball club and people from their social circles, and they get too confused and they say, oh, think about it. I'll get back to you. So what we do is we isolate faces, which means by this time, because you've met the referral, you've spoken to them in the club, you might have done some qualification. The person has just toured them, the person is a new member. You spent lots of time with them, you know a bit about them. So let's say you know that they play netball. We isolate spaces by saying who from your netball club would be best suited to these programs. Who are the 3 people from your netball club that you want to help the most? So we only ask for 3 and we get them to focus on that group. It's much easier for them to come up with those names and numbers, aren't they? So who from your netball club would you like to help the most? And we're much more likely to get those names and numbers. Now, as I said to you, when we do get those names and numbers, we don't just say, great, they definitely qualify, they're going to love it, 7-day program, good to go. We need to make sure that they're a good fit for our club or our studio or for you as a personal trainer. So we use a program, a process, called LTPRQ. So let me take you through how this works. So LTPRQ. If some of you have worked with this before, you would know the process of LTRQ. Well, it's changed. It's LTPRQ. Now, Mary has just become a member and she's just given me 3 names and numbers who are best suited to one of our 4 programs, 7-day programs. And these are the 3 people that she most wants to help in the world. And we say, okay, Mary, that's awesome. Let's talk about these 3 people. Do they live or work locally? Do they live or work locally? And she'll say, give me a bit of an answer. Some may, some may not. What sort of training are they doing at the moment? What sort of training are they doing at the moment? Oh, well, one plays a bit of tennis, one's in my netball club. Oh, Georgina hasn't done anything for a little while, but she's been speaking about making a bit of a comeback. And what sort of programs, which one of those programs do you think they'd be best suited to? So suddenly my new member Mary gets to choose what she thinks is the best program. Now when we speak to the actual referred people, they can also choose which program that they take in. And so why do you choose the lifestyle program for this person? What sort of results are they after? And then the Q for qualification is the key. Hey, if these 3 like the 7-day weight loss program or the 7-day flexibility program, do you think they'd be in a position to continue on to our full weight loss program? So it's not about the membership, it's about the program. If these 3 like the 7-day membership, do you think they'll be inclined to want to continue to our full programs? And some will say yes and some will say no. Some will say, yeah, they've been talking about it for a while, they're pretty serious. Some will say, no, they're just visiting their brother for 2 weeks. Now you determine who qualifies and who doesn't. Some will say, okay, great, these 2 sound like they more than likely qualify for the program, which is pretty exciting. And some you may decide don't qualify. If they're from out of town and just visiting their sister for a week, oh, listen, the 7-day program is really designed for local residents that are looking at being here long term. So while they don't qualify for the full 7 days, I'm happy to give them a 1-day on me valued at $30, whatever the case might be. So you will decide in your club what you give the people that don't qualify for the full 7 days. But that qualification question is the key so that you're always dealing with quality leads. Now also what I like to throw in is a bit of digital use, because we know that the use of digital is actually being very effective in communication with these leads, these names and numbers. You know, we know that the dial to contact percentage in our industry is pretty tough. We're doing lots and lots of calls and speaking to less and less people. So the use of digital is actually going to enhance that. So what we're doing is to use some landing or squeeze pages, which may link to your websites, and sometimes they may not link to the websites, but it becomes a lead for you. So let's say Mary has just become a member of the club, and she doesn't give me, or she does give me 3 names, numbers of the people that she'd love to help the most, and she says that they're going to be suited to these types of programs. Instead of necessarily just calling those 3 people, I might shoot them an SMS or shoot them an email, and I might invite them to register to a squeeze page. So, hey, listen, your friend Mary's just become a member. She's nominated you, nominated, I don't say you definitely get. She's nominated you for a 7-day lifestyle program valued at $135. All you need to do is to jump onto here, register you, and just give us some information, and we'll look forward to speaking with you. It might be, when's the best time for me to contact you so we can speak voice to voice. So suddenly, instead of all of this phone calls without getting an outcome, without talking to people, we are much more likely to get in contact with them. Once that response comes through, it's almost like a new lead, isn't it? So instead of us having to chase that person, they've shown us their interest, and it's almost like a new lead again. So gone are the days of calling. We know that the dial to contact is tough. Follow-up is almost dead. Please don't hear that follow-up is dead. If you've got good leads there, then follow them up. But it's so tough on the phone that it is almost dead. In fact, what we've done is we've created a specific structure for follow-up for new leads, which is called a call matrix system, which is a 6-day cycle of calls, voice messages and SMSs if we don't get voice-to-voice with them, which dramatically increases our level of ability to get voice-to-voice with someone while the lead is still hot within the first 6 days. It means that we need to get voice-to-voice to create emotion, don't we? You can't create a lot of emotion through SMS or email. So the call matrix system works really effectively to increase the likelihood of you getting in contact with that person. Now, when they go to a squeeze page and that information comes to you, then it's like a new lead and you can implement that call matrix system. To answer your question about your current members, you can also do a squeeze page, email them and say, new way of introducing people to the club. We've got different programs which your friends and family can utilise, and send them to the squeeze page to register the names and numbers and what programs they think would link best to that person. Okay. SMSs, as I'm sure you guys are well aware, are working much more effectively in the initial follow-up of your referrals than emails. People read their SMSs, but they don't necessarily read the emails. They read the title and then they delete it. And the call matrix system is working, as I said, very effectively. Let me give you some scary numbers relating to leads that are coming in. Remember, when we send these people to a squeeze page and then they respond, it's like a new lead coming in. The scary facts with our industry is that once that lead pops up on the squeeze page or your computer, if you can dial that number within less than 2 minutes from when it pops up on your computer, it takes 1.9 dials on average to actually get in contact, speak to that person. So it's pretty effective, isn't it? If it pops up and you can jump on it really quickly, you make those dials, well, you would speak to someone, that person, pretty quickly. It means then you can create some emotion, create some value. The scary thing is, if it's greater than 2 minutes, there's 9 to 11 dials until you get in touch with that person. Now, for many of your clubs, 9 to 11 dials to a new lead just doesn't exist. It might be done a couple of times, and then it drops off, and the follow-ups isn't there. So the call matrix system means that there's some urgency to get to these people very quickly. The squeeze page means that we're getting these names and numbers rather than having to chase them. So it is going to increase your likelihood of getting hold of them. We also know that the life of the lead is dying very quickly. We call this loop management. We know that if your lead comes through from your squeeze page, for instance, and you can dial them quickly, speak to them on the same day that they register, and book them in to come and see you on that same day, you are 100% more likely to have them as a member. We call this a W1 or a C1, web inquiry one or a contact one. Every day that goes by, you lose 25% of the likelihood of having that person as a member of your club. Whoops, 50%. So by the time day 4 comes, they're almost gone. So the old days of doing, left message, and then 3 days later we'll do another left message, then it goes to a week, and then it goes to 2 weeks, they're gone. We need to create some strong urgency. If you want to have a look at our call matrices, you let me know, I can show you another time. Okay, so we need to create some strong value. Please, as a bit of an extra tip, please make sure you're using prompts. Please don't let your staff or yourself just go and make the calls. They must have a structure to follow so that you have the best way throughout your business and that you can monitor the success of those phone calls. So remember, when you're calling those names and numbers, you must say the word nominate. Mary has nominated you for one of 4 different programs. And then we give you a nice alternate choice. So which would you prefer? You know, the weight loss or the nutrition or the lifestyle? Which one do you think suits you best? And they get to make a choice. With that new person, Mary's friend, we also do LTPRQ with them as well. Hey, do you live or work locally? What sort of training are you doing at the moment? Which program do you think is going to suit you best? And tell me about that. What results are you after? Hey, by the way, if you like our 7-day nutrition program, do you think you'd be in a position to continue to our full nutrition program? If they say yes, you might decide they qualify. If there's some things out in there that they're not really interested, they might be from out of town, or you can determine that they might qualify for something a little bit less. That's up to you. So we need everyone on board to do this. This is a culture change, and I keep saying it. This is why this is a line in the sand for you and your clubs and your studios to go, let's rebrand this referral thing, and let's start again. Let's make it exciting. Let's not keep bashing people around the heads about something that doesn't work. Let's make it exciting. So all of your reception team need to be on board. So for instance, if your reception team is still giving out 7-day free passes, but you're working with your sales staff to make them programs, well, there's a disconnect there, isn't there? So everyone has to be on board. This club that I was talking about that rehashed it, they just took all their 7-day passes off reception desk so that no one was making that mistake. So there's a communication element to it. If you're a low staff club or studio, then of course your PTs are going to be heavily involved in those touch points, aren't they? And there's a strong benefit for them to do that. You're going to decide how many touch points you're going to put in place, what suits your club or your studio. And you must have that belief. You must communicate it. Don't just do it as a direct from the boss. Make sure you're communicating the benefits to it, how it's going to affect the members and changing lives in your community. How's it going to affect the atmosphere of the club and the studio? How's it going to affect the group fitness class when they've got more people in there and there's better energy, those sorts of things. And it needs to be in the DNA. It needs to be in the DNA of you and your staff to replace your leads. Remember that sales cycle? And if we get a happy member, but we don't have any referrals, well, there's a big square in that cycle and it's not going to continue. So it's got to be in your DNA and your staff's DNA to replace their leads. Remember, it's offered to anyone, everyone, just like the air hostie with her coffee. You know, when I grew up, I had a dog, and it was a Labrador. We used to take that Labrador for a walk. We lived quite close to a river. We used to take that Labrador for a walk every day. And every day, doesn't matter whether it was 35 degrees, 25 degrees, 2 degrees, hailing, sunny, whatever, every day, when we let it off the leash, it would run into the water. Every day. It'd be chasing rats, it'd be having a great time. It was next to a golf course, it'd be going in and picking up golf balls every day. So it is in the DNA of Shandy, her name was. It was in Shandy's DNA to get in the water. It's got to be in your guys' DNA to replace their leads. You guys do that? Create a whole new culture. Simple to do. I said to you this morning, a lot of these things are simple to do, but they're also simple not to do. So I'm hoping, and I'm sure there are many of you that will go, yep, it's simple to do, takes a little bit of a planning, but let's rock and roll, let's get this done. So, how do we convert? How do we convert if they do use the 7-day program? And how do we convert before they do the 7-day program? We know it's in our best interest, we know it's in their best interest to become a fully fledged member, do the fully fledged weight loss program, which might be a 4-week program instead of the 7-day program. So how do we create an environment where they're choosing to be part of what we do? We're not forcing them into something they want, we just show them a solution to what they've told us they want to see. Well, let me show you how we can do that. We know that LTRQ works. We know that we say, hey, if you like the club, or if you like the program, do you think you'll be in a position to continue with the full weight loss program, the 4-week one, the good one? Yeah, I will. They've already told you that it's probability. So we have an opportunity of presenting that. We do that on the phone, and we also do that when we're face-to-face. So you're going to come up with these programs. You're also going to do something called a success action plan. And as I said, I presented on touring this morning, and the new way of touring is to use a success action plan which is linked with our qualification, our exercise histories, where you have a plan of attack. On the telephone, you start the success action plan. You tell Mary what you've got planned for her when she comes in. You're going to have some stuff ready for her that's tailored. When she comes in, you give her a nice envelope which has the success action plan partly filled out, and you invite her down on the phone to complete the success action plan. Not to come and see the club. Oh, great, I've started your success action plan. I know exactly what you need. We need to organise a time so we can get together and we can complete your success action plan so you can be on that holiday in Bali feeling really proud of yourself in that bikini, whatever her situation was. So this is what our success action plan looks like. As I said, it's linked with the exercise history. Many of you know that avoiding pain is the greatest motivator of human behaviour. So we use something called the 4 W's and a H with our exercise history and our success action plan to create that emotion. So 4 W's and a H, what, where, why, secret how, when and big how. Today is not a training on 4 W's and a H because as many of you know, Emily, that's a full day. And we don't have a full day to run through that. But I just want to make the point that we must create a compelling reason. So when Mary's friends come in that are suited, that she's invited or nominated to take advantage of these programs, we do a full presentation just like any other lead. Phone call, start success action plan, invite them in to complete the success action plan. We do some qualification, we make a plan, we take them on a tour, we give them great value, we give them great experiences, and then we do a price presentation to ask them to be a fully fledged member or to take advantage of the full weight loss program. Because what we're really in the industry for is to change some lives, aren't we? Imagine if you could save 10 lives a year. Imagine if what you do within our industry, not just make some money, not just hit some KPIs, imagine if you could save 10 people per year through how you educate them. So as part of the programs, then you're going to educate them on how to enhance their lifestyle. So for instance, a checklist for prostate checks and doctor's checks and all those sorts of things. How regularly should that happen? Men we're a bit stupid, us men. We're 80% less likely to get checked. So do you need to make some suggestions about how regularly they should get checked? I've actually seen this happen in health clubs where people that normally wouldn't have got checks have gone and done them. And guess what? There's been some things going on and they've picked up some cancers and those sorts of things much earlier than would have normally happened. So you're literally changing some lives. If you're over 50-year-old as a bloke, blood test every 6 months. If you're over 40, blood test every 12 months. If you've got a family history like me, more often. Even just simply the advice of a couple of zinc supplements per day decreases the risk of prostate cancer by 80%. Now, it'd be wrong of me in this room not to say that, wouldn't it? Because some of you might go, oh, didn't know that. I might go research. I better get some zinc supplements. Hey, who knows if we change some lives. So what we need to do is to cash it in. You need your success action plan. We also know when we tour this new person that we go to the most important area for them, not the same tour for everyone else. And in the success action plan, you design the tour. We need a red to green explanation of the things in our club, and we call that FEBE, Feature Benefit Emotion Agreement. I'm not here to teach you how to use that, but please make sure, because we know that green brain is where 100% of decisions are made. If you're just saying red brain stuff like this is our group fitness room, these are our treadmills, this is our pool, it might be good stuff, but it's just that logical, isn't it? 0% of decision. So make sure it links to an emotion. This is our cycle studio. It's the highest calorie burning class that we have. The benefit to you, Mary, is going to fast track that weight loss, have you walk into that school reunion feeling really proud of yourself. If that was Mary's goal, that's the red to green presentation. So can I get you to write down red to green? Make sure all of your communication about your club or your studio, or for you as a personal trainer, is a red to green conversation. You have the giveaway cafe in your club or studio, where on the tour you have some members only benefits, some little discounts or benefits. And you say, hey, as a member you get X, Y and Z. We've got some vouchers that we give you as a member. Would you like yours now? If she says yes, she knows it's members only, she's decided to become a member. We do programs instead of free trials. We don't use the word free. We don't guest or trial, do we? Programs. Members is better than free, and trial. Programs is even better. Now, as we walk into the conversion of this, we must use a journey. Some of you may have heard of it as a timeline or a fishbone in our price presentation. Mary's friends have come in, we do a full process, we find out what they qualify for, and then we take them on the full tour with the intention of giving them the opportunity to do the full weight loss program straight away, to cash in their 7-day program. But hear me strong. If you try and get them to cash in just with a financial benefit, cash in their 7-day program for a full program or a full member, if you ask them to cash it in just on price, just because of financial benefit, you will get smashed. So we must use a journey or a timeline, because then what we get to do is we present just simply what they've asked us to present. If you do it on price, you're presenting because you're a salesperson and you're trying to screw them about being a 7-day program to being a full member. If we use a journey, they'll tell us where they want our help to be, and then we simply show them a way that we can do that. So let me show you how that works. On the back of we use something called an exercise history, as you know, and we have on the back of the exercise history is a pre-printed price presentation. The journey or the timeline that you may have heard of before looks something like this. So Mary's friend, Georgia, is in. We've done full process. I've had a good chat with her, know exactly what she wants, taken her for a tour. Now I'm ready to see if she wants to do the full weight loss program instead of the 7 days. So, hey, Georgia, it's 4 different phases you're going to go through, coming in, working with our programs. The first is the beginning. It's the first 20 to 30 days. Now, as you can see, there's nothing about 7 days there. It's the first 20 to 30 days. It's where you're going to get familiar with the program, you're going to meet our trainers, you get into a routine. You'll certainly increase your energy straight away. You'll get rid of some toxins. You might increase your quality of sleep straight away. From there, we move into the change phase, which is the next 2 to 7 months. What happens there is you see some physical changes. The mirror looks back at you differently. Your clothes fit differently. You're getting good comments, particularly in your arms, legs and stomach that you said were a bit of a challenge for you. From there we move to the results stage, which is exciting. You're at that school reunion. Everyone's giving you great comments. You fit beautifully into that little black dress. Fantastic. Now what happens sometimes is people get to these amazing outcomes, get you at your school reunion, and then because they've got no other goal, they drop backwards. We're going to work with your trainer to set a secondary goal. You said you wanted to get back into netball, so we're going to help you get back into netball, which will move you to the maintenance stage where it's 15 months plus. You get to enjoy what you've already achieved and then set a secondary goal. Then we're just going to ask Georgia where she wants our help to get to. Hey, this beginning stage will take care of itself. Where do you want my help to get you to? Is it the change, results, or maintenance stage? This beginning stage will take care of itself. Where would you like my help to get you to? Is it the change, results, or maintenance stage? Now, 99.9% of the time, Georgia will say maintenance stage. She already knows it's 15 months plus, because I've told her before I've asked her the question. She tells me maintenance stage. Why would I even ask her to do a 7-day program? She just told me she wants 15 months plus. So I'm going to ask her. I'm just going to deliver what she's asked me to deliver. Where would you like some help? Where would you like me to help you get to? Here, here, or here? Even if it doesn't matter which one of those she chooses. They're more than 7 days, so they're all about doing the full program, the full weight loss program, the full nutrition program, being a full member. So we must ask them to do the full program before they start the 7 days. We call that cash in, don't we? So let me show you how that works. Now, as many of you know, we do a T-bar price presentation. Lots of clubs and studios have tried to do a price presentation on iPods and all this sort of stuff. It's not as effective. We truly believe that the price presentation needs to be tailored. You can have some pre-printed borders and some pre-printed tees, but you need to make it a green brain, emotional price presentation. The T-bar is about understanding how the brain works. For 80% of the people, left is the past and right is the future. So just by putting the program you'd prefer them to take on the right-hand side, you'll get more of that program. So that's why we do a T-bar price presentation. So let's say you've got a 7-day weight loss program valued at $135, and you have a full weight loss program, the 4-week, the good one, the extra good one, valued at $299. And what we want to do is to see if Mary's friend, Brenda, wants to take advantage of that straight away. So we say, hey, Brenda, you told me up here in the journey that you want to get to the maintenance stage. Let me show you how we can do that. There's a couple of ways of going. Both of them just have $99 to get you started. You may know that as a joining fee, for instance. But we don't want to say joining fee. It's very logical, isn't it? Just $99 to get you started. Now, we spoke about that full weight loss program to really fast-track your weight loss, get you ready for that holiday to Bali. That 4 weeks includes X, Y, and Z, all your different touch points, is just $299. Now, I know that you've got your 7-day weight loss program from Mary, but for you, referring back to the journey, you said you've got some more serious results out of that. So what I suggest you do is to cash in that 7 days, which brings this down to just $164, saving you $135. How good is that? Because we know that the 7 days was valued at $135. So to do that, all we need to do is a couple of ways of going. First, we have way A, which is 1 month and ongoing, just X per week. It's going to help you with that weight loss. Or what would be better for you, given where you said you want my help to get to in that maintenance stage, is to do way B. Happens to be what most people do for 12 months and ongoing. And just Y per week, not only going to help you with that weight loss, but also get that toning going and have you feeling fantastic on the beach in Bali for your anniversary, whatever she told you. So you notice that it's a green brain presentation, not a red brain presentation. It's not just about prices. It's not just about different membership options. Every one of them is a green brain. So we've got way A, which helps you with that weight loss, or we've got way B, which helps you with the weight loss, tone up, and feel fantastic on the beach in Bali. Proud of yourself, not embarrassed, whatever she told me. So because we've earned the right to be very assumptive with that cash in, because through the whole presentation, this Brenda has told me exactly what she's after. So all I do now is present what she's asked me to present. In the journey, she hasn't said 7 days. In the journey, she said maintenance stage, 15 months plus. I want to not only be on the school reunion feeling proud of myself, but then I want to get back into netball. That's what she's asked me to present, so that's what I present. So certainly, there's an opportunity for lead generation, but that doesn't mean we simply give her a 7-day pass or a 7-day program. We give her what is best for her, and it happens to be what is best for us as well, so perfect situation. That is what I suggest for 100% of you in how you work with your programs for your members. The other part, which I'll just wrap with quickly, is what we call a quality guarantee. Now, that'll fit for some of you and it won't fit for some of you. The quality guarantee is even if Brenda says, oh, listen, it all sounds good, but I'd really just like to do my 7-day weight loss program, then we still need to make her a member of the club. Some of you will say, no, that's a bit strong. Let's allow her to do a 7-day weight loss program, give her great service, and she's likely to join at the end of it. But I must say, if you want to really please your members, and you know that 100% of the people in your club are members of your club, not guests or trials, you want them to feel part of the team, then the quality guarantee is the last step to it. And it means that you say something like this. Okay, that's fine. Let me tell you how this program works. It's really simple. What we have to do is to make you a member like everyone else, just by completing a little bit of paperwork. Now, you said earlier that if you were to continue after your 7-day weight loss program, it would be this express you're after. Is that right? Yes, it would. Okay, great. You see, this comes with our quality guarantee. The quality guarantee means that you're entitled to your full 7-day weight loss program. So we just need to complete a little bit of paperwork, put your name down here. However, if for some reason you're not fully satisfied with the club or the studio or the 7-day weight loss program within the next 5 days, for instance, the quality guarantee will entitle you to have your membership terminated or the paperwork removed from our system, okay? Hey, this is great. It allows us to showcase the club or the studio, really make sure you know how we can help you to fast track you for your school reunion in November. Make sure you're comfortable walking in there. And of course, they would fill a little quality guarantee out as part of it. Now, as I said, everything leading up to the quality guarantee is something I suggest all of you do to restart your referral program. Start a new culture, new way to do it. For the clubs and businesses that I've worked with that have implemented the quality guarantee, when it's communicated really effectively, it's very powerful. So, there's a few little things there for you to do as a bit of a checklist, a bit of homework for you to do. We need to create your programs. You need to decide how many touch points you're going to put in there. You need to decide, how am I going to relaunch this within my club or my studio? How am I going to create excitement about referrals again? Remember the numbers on the board? In that example where we use your figures, just for 6 sales per day, 100 new leads per day. It's pretty scary, isn't it? If we are just relying on the marketplace to respond to our marketing, we need to get out there and be proactive. I've got my details on the screen there. If you want some information about our tools, our call matrix or exercise history or our success action plan, you're welcome to give me an SMS or an email, or come and have a chat to me now and we can exchange business cards. Or if you want to catch up over the next this afternoon and tomorrow, then very happy to do that. Please, as I said this morning, this is easy to do. There's nothing difficult in there, but of course easy not to do. So please go out there and change the way that you do your referrals, because it will change the response from your business. Enjoy the rest of Filex. Thank you.